When's the last time you rested without guilt? Not collapsed from exhaustion rest, not sick in bed rest, not vacation you saved all year for rest. Just rest. Because you're a human being and human beings need rest. Can you even remember? Because here's what probably happens. You think about resting. You feel how tired you are, how your body is screaming for a break, how your brain feels like static, how you can't remember the last time you felt actually rested instead of just less exhausted. And then the voice starts. You haven't done enough yet. Other people have it harder, and they're not resting. If you rest now, you'll fall behind. You're being lazy. Rest is something you earn, and you haven't earned it yet, so you don't rest. You push through. You drink another coffee. You scroll through your phone instead of sleeping. You work through lunch. You say yes to one more thing. You keep going because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what adults do. That's what responsible, hard-working, successful people do. And you're so goddamn tired, but you can't stop, because stopping feels dangerous. Like if you rest, everything will fall apart. Like your worth is measured by your productivity. Like rest is a luxury you haven't earned yet. But here's the truth nobody's saying. You're not a machine. You're a human being. And human beings need rest. Not as a reward. Not after you've done enough. Not once you've earned it. Just rest. Because you're alive. And that's the only qualification. Let's talk about what you were taught about rest. You were taught that rest is for lazy people. That successful people don't need rest. They push through. They work harder. They sacrifice sleep and health and sanity to get ahead. You were taught that productivity equals worth, that your value is measured by your output, by how much you accomplish, by how busy you are, by how little sleep you can function on. You were taught that rest is something you earn, like a prize, like a reward for working hard enough, long enough, without complaint. So you internalize the rule, work first, rest later, maybe, if there's time, if you've done enough, if you deserve it. And enough is a moving target. You finish one thing, there's another. You hit one goal, there's a bigger one. You rest for 5 minutes and immediately feel guilty because you should be doing something. Rest became the thing you do when everything else is done. But everything is never done. There's always more work, more emails, more responsibilities, more things you should be doing. So rest became something you never actually do. Or when you do, you can't enjoy it because you're riddled with guilt. You're resting, but your brain is making a to-do list. You're on vacation, but you're checking work emails. You're lying down, but you're thinking about everything you're not doing. That's not rest. That's just stopping while still running. And here's the part that's going to make you uncomfortable. This isn't your fault, but it is killing you. The hustle culture, the grind mentality, the sleep when you're dead bullshit, the glorification of exhaustion, the badges of honor for burnout. It's all propaganda, designed to keep you productive, to keep you working, to keep you too tired to question whether this is actually how life is supposed to be. And you bought it. We all bought it. Because we were taught it from childhood. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. You can sleep when you're dead. No rest for the wicked. Rise and grind. Rest became weakness, and you learned to see your own exhaustion as a personal failing, rather than a sign that you're living in a system that's fundamentally unsustainable. You think you're managing, you think you're handling it, you think you're fine, but your body is keeping score, and the bill is coming due. Running on empty doesn't make you productive. It makes you sick. It shows up in your immune system. You're getting sick more often. That cold you can't shake. The infections that keep coming back. Your body can't fight off illness because it's using all its resources just to keep you upright. It shows up in your mental health. The anxiety that's gotten worse. The depression that appeared out of nowhere. The brain fog. The inability to focus. The emotional reactivity, you're snapping at people you love over small things because you have no reserves left. It shows up in your sleep. You're exhausted, but you can't fall asleep. Or you fall asleep and wake up at 3 a.m. and can't get back to sleep. Or you sleep 10 hours and wake up feeling like you haven't slept at all. It shows up in your body. The chronic pain, the tension headaches, the stomach issues, the weight gain or weight loss, the hormonal imbalances. Your body is breaking down because you're running it like a machine without maintenance. It shows up in your relationships. You're irritable, you're checked out, you're physically present but emotionally absent. You don't have energy for the people you love because you're spending it all just trying to survive. And it shows up in your work. The thing you're sacrificing rest for, you're doing it worse because you're exhausted. You're making mistakes. You're forgetting things. You're taking longer to do tasks that should be simple. Your creativity is gone. Your problem solving is impaired. You're not being more productive by skipping rest. You're being less productive while destroying your health. And here's the cruelest irony. You're so tired that you can't even see how tired you are anymore. Exhaustion has become your baseline. You've forgotten what rested feels like. You measure your energy in "I can still function" instead of "I feel good." You gauge success by "I didn't collapse today" instead of "I thrived today." That's not living, that's surviving. And you're not supposed to spend your entire life in survival mode. I know what you're thinking. I can't rest. I don't have time. I have too much to do. If I rest, everything will fall apart. That fear is real, but it's not true. Let's break down what's actually stopping you. Fear number 1. If I rest, I'll fall behind. Behind what? Behind whom? You're in a race you didn't sign up for against people who aren't even racing. You created the finish line. You can move it. You can erase it. You can stop running. Fear number 2. I'll lose my job, opportunities, success if I'm not always available. The job that requires you to destroy your health to keep it is not a good job. The opportunity that costs you your sanity is not an opportunity. The success that requires your complete depletion is not success. It's exploitation. Fear number 3. Other people are counting on me. I can't let them down. You're already letting them down. You're giving them the exhausted, depleted, irritable version of you. The version that's running on empty. The version that snaps, forgets, checks out. Rest doesn't make you less available. It makes you actually present. Fear number 4. Resting makes me lazy, weak, unsuccessful. No. Running yourself into the ground makes you unsustainable. Rest makes you resilient. There's a reason every high-performing athlete prioritizes recovery. Your brain and body are no different. Fear number 5. I don't deserve rest because I haven't done enough. Done enough for whom? According to what standard? You're a human being. That's the standard. You deserve rest because you exist. Full stop. But the fear underneath all of these, the real fear. If I stop, I'll have to feel everything I've been running from. Because here's what happens when you actually rest. The feelings come up, the grief, the anger, the fear, the disappointment, the existential dread, all the things you've been too busy to process. Rest isn't just physical, it's emotional. And emotional rest means facing what you've been avoiding. That's terrifying. So you stay busy, you stay in motion, you stay exhausted. Because exhaustion is safer than feeling. But exhaustion doesn't protect you. It just delays the inevitable. And the longer you delay, the harder it gets. Rest is not doing nothing. Rest is doing things that restore you instead of deplete you. Rest is not lazy. Rest is necessary. Like breathing, like water, like food. You don't earn the right to breathe. You don't deserve water after you've been productive enough. Rest is the same. Rest is not wasted time. Rest is the thing that makes all other time possible. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't run a car without gas. You can't expect yourself to function without recovery. Rest is not just sleep. Rest is sitting in silence without your phone, saying no to things you don't want to do, i.e., taking a walk without tracking your steps, eating a meal without multitasking, staring out the window and thinking about nothing, lying on the floor and breathing, doing something for pleasure, not productivity. Rest is giving yourself permission to exist without producing anything, without achieving anything, without being useful to anyone. Rest is revolutionary, because we live in a system that profits from your exhaustion, that needs you tired and compliant and too depleted to question anything. Capitalism doesn't want you rested. It wants you tired enough to consume coffee, energy drinks, productivity hacks, quick fixes, tired enough to keep working without asking for better conditions, tired enough to be grateful for the scraps of time off they give you. Rest is a refusal, a rebellion, a reclaiming of your humanity from systems that see you as a resource to be extracted. And that's exactly why it feels so hard. Because resting means admitting that your worth isn't tied to your output, that you matter even when you're not producing, that being human is enough. Okay, practical time. Because knowing you need rest and actually doing it are two completely different things. Step 1. Give yourself permission. Out loud. Say it, right now, out loud. I am allowed to rest. I don't have to earn it. I'm a human being, and human beings need rest. I'm allowed to rest. Say it even if you don't believe it. Say it until you start to believe it. Your nervous system needs to hear it. Step 2. Start with 10 minutes. Not an hour, not a day. 10 minutes. Today. 10 minutes where you do nothing productive. You don't check your phone. You don't plan. You don't clean. You don't multitask. You sit. You breathe. You stare at the wall. You close your eyes. You exist without doing. 10 minutes. You can do 10 minutes. Step 3. Notice the resistance. When you try to rest, your brain will panic. It'll tell you all the reasons you shouldn't, all the things you should be doing instead, all the ways this is irresponsible. Notice it, don't fight it, just notice. Oh, there's the guilt, there's the anxiety, there's the fear, and then rest anyway. The resistance doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're doing something your nervous system isn't used to. Keep going. Step 4. Rest before you need it. Don't wait until you're on the edge of collapse. Don't wait until you're sick. Don't wait until your body forces you to stop. Rest as prevention. Rest as maintenance. Rest as a regular, non-negotiable part of your day. Like brushing your teeth. You don't wait until your teeth are falling out. You don't earn the right to brush them. Step 5. Protect your rest like you protect your work. You wouldn't cancel a work meeting because you don't feel like it. Don't cancel your rest because something else came up. Put rest on your calendar, make it an appointment with yourself, and keep it. With the same commitment, you keep work obligations. Your rest is not optional. It's not something that happens if there's time. It's a non-negotiable requirement for your survival. Step 6. Let people be disappointed. Someone asks you to do something. You're too tired. You say no. They're disappointed. They're frustrated. They don't understand. Let them. Their disappointment is not your emergency. Their discomfort with your boundaries is not your responsibility. You are not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Step 7. Redefine productivity. Productivity isn't just output, it's sustainability. A productive day is one where you don't burn out, where you maintain your health, where you're kind to yourself and others, where you're present for your life. Rest is productive, because rest is what makes tomorrow possible. Let me tell you what actually happens when you start prioritizing rest. First, you feel worse. Seriously, the first few days of actually resting, you'll feel exhausted, like you could sleep for a week. That's because you're finally feeling how tired you actually are. Your body is finally safe enough to show you. Let it. Sleep. Rest. Cry if you need to. This is your body releasing years of accumulated exhaustion. Second, you'll feel guilty as hell. Every time you rest, your brain will scream at you. You're lazy. You're wasting time. You're falling behind. You're failing. That guilt is your programming. It's the voice of a culture that profits from your exhaustion. It's not truth. Keep resting anyway. Third, things will not fall apart. The world will keep spinning. Your job will still be there. Your family will survive. The things you thought were urgent will wait. And you'll realize most of them weren't actually urgent at all. Fourth, you'll start to feel human again. Your brain fog will lift. Your creativity will return. Your patience will increase. You'll remember what it feels like to have energy, to be present, to enjoy things. Fifth, your relationships will improve. Because you're not giving people the exhausted leftovers of yourself. You're actually there, present, available, kind. Sixth, your work will improve. Because you're not running on fumes. You're making fewer mistakes. You're thinking more clearly. You're solving problems you couldn't see before because you were too tired. And seventh, this is the one that changed everything for me. You'll realize you were never supposed to live like that. The exhaustion wasn't normal. The constant pushing wasn't necessary. The sacrifice wasn't noble. You were taught that suffering equals success. That exhaustion equals dedication. That rest equals weakness. All of it was a lie. And rest is how you start telling yourself the truth. What's one reason you've been scared to rest? Is it guilt? Fear of falling behind? Fear of disappointing people? Fear of feeling what you've been avoiding? Fear of being seen as lazy? Fear that if you stop, you'll never start again? Type it in the comments. Say it out loud. Name the fear that's keeping you running on empty, because when you name it, you can see it for what it is. Programming, conditioning. A lie you've been told so many times you think it's truth. Your fear of resting is not evidence that rest is wrong. It's evidence that you desperately need it. And maybe your words will remind someone else to breathe. Maybe your honesty will give someone permission to stop. Maybe together we can unlearn the lie that we have to earn our humanity. Rest is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. It's not giving up. It's giving yourself what you need to keep going. You don't have to collapse before you stop. You don't have to earn your right to rest. You don't need permission from anyone, except maybe from yourself. So here it is. You're allowed to rest. Today, right now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to finish anything. You don't have to prove anything. Rest. Because you're human, and human beings need rest. And if you need weekly reminders that rest is not laziness, that your worth isn't measured by your productivity, and that you're allowed to take care of yourself, subscribe. We're unlearning the grind together. The world can wait. You matter more. Rest today.